everybody. Welcome to Strumming with Christopher. I'm Christopher Gallegos, librarian for Gonzales Library, Monterey County Free Libraries. So, we've talked about quite a few things now, about 5 chords, power chords, talked about basic strumming, putting chords together. I want to talk more about strumming today. I've said this before, but it's very, very easy to get obsessed with what's happening with your left hand because it looks flashy. And your right hand is important as well. It's very, very important. You have to develop the two skills in tandem, and that's what makes the guitar fun, but also challenging at first. But let me tell you, drums are harder, and piano is much harder. Guitar is about a 2 on the scale of difficulty. I think when it really hit me that right hand was really important was when I was in my early 20s, and I was in a heavy metal band, and I knew a lot of jazz chords. Jazz was my background. You know, I was playing a lot of fancy little things like that. And then when I got to rehearse with this band, I realized that I did not have the speed in my right hand to keep up with them because the music was so fast. So from then on, I said, get your right hand in order. So far, we know 2 very basic strums that I've talked about. I talked about the power chord, fast downstrokes too, but that's still what we learned. The 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and the 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up. So in general, thinking in terms of 4 beats is very, very good at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. You won't be counting after a while once you internalize this. But there's other types of notes. So before we get too complicated, I want to show you some basic strums that still kind of fit into that. If we're talking about something called eighths, for example, it sounds almost like the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and with eighths it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So let's do something kind of fun. And first strum I want to show you is something that was very, very popular in probably in the 70s and country rock, southern rock, that kind of stuff. It was kind of a chunka type sound on certain chords, and it gave it this kind of quirky, kind of drove things ahead. And I've heard this kind of strumming referred to as a muted strum. So with the power chords I showed you palm muting. Muted strum is more of you kind of hitting this area between the bridge, which is the bottom part where the strings all are attached here, and your sound hole, and between the bridge and the sound hole. On an acoustic especially, but on an electric, the pickups will also catch this sound. It's you lightly kind of hitting the strings with your palm, okay, in place of an actual strum. So what I'm going to show you today, you can kind of almost think of it as a loop of 3, I guess. You're still within this 1, 2, 3, 4 framework, but it's kind of going to sound like 3. So trust the E minor chord, which I hope you know by now, because that was the first thing we learned. That's what my left hand's doing. So it's going to be a down strum, up strum, and then on the 3rd, you can think of it kind of as a 1, 2, hit, 1, 2, hit, kind of a 1 and a 2 and a 3, and it's going to sound like this, okay? And then I'll kind of break it down for you, so slow. It's very versatile. When it gets fast, it sounds cool. Okay, so you already know the basic down, up. Not that hard. If it starts getting kind of tiring, you can sometimes just even hit the bottom 4 strings if you want to kind of have a little shortcut. It'll still sound okay. When you're going down, always try to hit all 6, though, if you're doing a chord where you can do that. So you're going to do a down strum, up strum, and then a down strum. But on the down strum, instead of strumming the strings, you're going to kind of hit this area here. And even if you don't have a pick, it still works. Okay, so it's actually pretty easy. I want you to just think of that, a down strum, up strum, and then on the down strum, light hit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So with changing chords, this is how it would sound. Think 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, 3, bar chord. So it's almost deceptively simple, but play with that one. And again, like with the other ones, start slow and then start adding speed. And then you have a wide vocabulary to work with once you have some speed in there. And that works with any chord you've learned. It even can work with power chords, honestly. So last time I showed you a G to a C to a D. Remember, only be strumming the strings you're fretting, though, with a power chord. So that's kind of a, I don't know what you'd call that kind of strum, but it's always been one that I've liked. And then we're going to have another variation on the up-down thing. And in this one, you're going to actually leave, well, it's going to be, think of it in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're going to leave one upstroke out of it. So this is a sound that you hear a lot in ballads, kind of slow acoustic romantic songs, that type of thing. And again, E minor chord, so it would be a down strum, up strum, down strum, and then on the fourth, you'd be going up, but you would not hit the strings. So you have a little bit of space that you're letting in there. You're letting the strumming breathe a little bit. So it sounds like this. So. Sped up. So really it's kind of sounding like a 1, 2, 3, 2 if you were counting. So down, up, the 4, no sound. Oh, I'm doing that thing again. So that one, try that with some of the chords that you know already. Remember, as you're doing these strumming patterns, it's always good to start with a bass for one chord. And then once you're comfortable, start switching the chords around. And that's when you're really starting to put this stuff together with both hands. So again, this one you're going to do downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, but don't hit the strings. And it's important to keep that upstroke even when you're not hitting the strings, just so that you have a good strumming habit. And it also gives you control. Well, even though my hand is doing the motion with a loose wrist, I don't have to play every single beat. And after a while, it actually gets tiring. So when you can put some breaks in there, it makes your strumming more interesting, and it also gives your hand a quick break. So I'll try it with a G chord. Okay, so down, and then up, but not hit the strings on the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, sped up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice my hand is going up but not hitting the strings. And one other subtle thing I want to add in here. I've been using a pick for some of these recent lessons, especially power chords. Power chords without a pick, you gotta have some skill for that. But there's something now that you're learning these different strums you can try too. Whether you like a pick or whether you're doing this little pseudo pick thing, you can also kind of have your fingers a little bit loose. And again, it works with both types of guitars. Acoustic, it's a little more forgiving on your fingers. But you kind of think of your right hand, kind of think of having something on your hand and you're trying to kind of shake it off a little bit, and you can be using all your fingers very loosely to strum too. And it works really cool if you're gentle, so it would look kind of like this. E minor chord, and I'll just do a basic down, up type thing. To a G. So that's not so much a strumming technique as it is something else you can do. And if this is getting tiring or your pick is getting tiring, you can kind of let your hands don't overthink it. I mean, if you're going really fast, it would end up being the kind of thing you see in Spanish flamenco music, like. But we're not getting that kind of stuff yet. I'm not even going to pretend I can play that stuff. So, yeah, some new strumming patterns. Nothing mind-blowing, I know, but this is just fun, and every video you watch, I sincerely appreciate you supporting what I'm doing, and go and watch some of the other great programs that Monterey County Free Libraries is putting out. That's the kind of world we're living in right now, and I hope that it's bringing some joy to your life and maybe even encouraging some of you to pick up an instrument. And if that's the case, awesome. I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for tuning in.